We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all games are created equal, that they are endowed by their developer with certain unalienable source code, that among these are life, mana, and the pursuit of princesses, that to secure these achievements, publishers are instituted among the players, deriving their just power-ups from the consent of the gamers, that whenever any form of gameplay becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the player to mod or to delete it, and to institute new titles, laying its features on such settings and organizing its storyline in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their saves and achievements. Player 1, indeed, will dictate that games long established shall not be changed for lazy and greedy causes, and accordingly, all experience hath shown that player kind are more disposed to suffer while DLC are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the games to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of bugs and microtransactions, pursuing invariably the same boss, evinces a design to reduce them unto rage quitting, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such content and to provide new consoles for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these players, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of gaming. The history of the present AAA studios is a history of repeated sequels, Day 1 DLC, and microtransactions, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over our fun. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean.
I'm Rob, and this is 10 Plated Talks, episode 15.
Okay, so we hope you all enjoyed the declaration of Tindependence at the intro here. We slacked off for a couple of weeks, so we figured we'd do something a little big this time. Thanks to everyone who came and saw the live stream. We'll be putting some highlights of it up onto YouTube, or you can go to Twitch and watch the replay, I believe. Don't really know Twitch all that well, but the replay's there somewhere. Go find it. Not my problem. But let's go ahead and get straight to the questions, you think?
I think so. Usopp King have we given much thought to a one-off mishmash series? Well, we do a little of that with our quick looks, but we have exactly given much thought to that.
Yeah, we've been trying to spread out, diversify, add more games, give us some shorter things that people can more easily share. We actually talked about it on the live stream that we planned on doing this. It's a matter of finding room within what we're doing already. It seems to me that it's a bad idea to have more than 2 ongoing series, but we do want to put in some more little one-off things, maybe quick looks at this, a couple of more showdowns. It's been a while since we've done one of those. So yeah, there's going to be some one-off content coming. The big problem is we don't really have a game budget, so we're down to basically free play stuff. But we think we can scrounge some stuff out, or hit up Redbox, mooch off friends, things like that. We think we can come up with a few things here or there.
We will manage.
Yep. Mr. Ramaghost asked us, if a character from Dark Souls for some reason ends up in the Game of Thrones universe, who would it be and what would they do? We have one answer.
Yeah, let me just go ahead and paraphrase this by saying whatever Mr. Ramaghost is on, puff puff pass there, homie, because damn, who the fuck thinks of that? But the answer is Havel as a dragon hunter, and fuck Daenerys Targaryen, because he's a-coming.
Yeah. He, being undead sort of makes it a little tricky to keep him down permanently. Not that,
I mean, a little obsidian, solve that problem.
He's not a walker.
Okay then. But yeah, that seems like the most obvious to me. Or, now that I think about it, the Sunbro guy. Solaire. As a priest of the red god.
Could be.
Because the night is dark and full of terrors. So praise the sun.
If only I could be so gloriously incandescent. 101 Terrafiend says, will you put any Payday on the channel? Not as an actual LP, but just a little montage video or something you and Rob playing together. We plan on doing a live stream of it. Highlights of it will probably end up on YouTube. When we're going to do a live stream? We don't know. We're trying to get at least a 3-man team together before we do that. Hopefully a 4-man crew so that, we've got a full squad. But a 3-man crew is actually pretty helpful because when you've got an NPC, they're really, really good at soaking up bullets, and they will walk through the fires of hell to put you back on your feet. So they're good to have around.
Yeah. 3-man and a golden retriever is a pretty solid choice. Now, 101 Terror Fiends also asked me what my favorite time period was when I was getting my degree. Well, my senior thesis was on the Battle of Stalingrad.
Yep. You can wax lyrical upon the Battle of Stalingrad. For instance, wasn't there a building with some Russians in it, and they holed up in it, and it was marked by the Germans as a fortress, yada yada.
That was Pavlov's house.
Mm-hmm.
Sergeant Sergei Pavlov found this 2-story house with his squad and said, "This is ours," and held it so well that, yes, on German maps of Stalingrad, it was labeled as a fortress. But yeah, but I don't know if that would be my favorite necessarily. I never had any one time period. What I always really liked was the interconnectivity of history. How you can start at World War I or even before that and follow the thread all the way up to 9/11 and our current war on terror.
Yeah.
And you can show an exact domino cause and effect because of this, 9/11. All the way through. And that to me was always very interesting because there's nothing random in the world. You just have to know what you're looking at. And you see, well, if we hadn't done this, they wouldn't have done that.
Sort of related, I do have some interest in history, but I like going much farther back when there wasn't a lot of interactivity between cultures. There was a lot of vast disparate areas, and then it was just the little sort of edges would mix. Parallel development, I always thought was amazing. How different cultures develop different mathematics.
Or like the canoe?
Yeah, the canoe. Everybody had a canoe. But, I saw something, oddly enough, in a role-playing game book. There's a company called GURPS that when they put out the role-playing game book, or company is Steve Jackson Games, game is called GURPS. When they put out their source books, they really heavily research them. And there was this type of arithmetic that works with Roman numerals where you add, double, check it to see if it's even, odd, yada, 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 see what numbers are first in the column, then have it, and you can use it to do some really complicated arithmetic using Roman numerals, which have got to be the most unwieldy fucking number system I've ever seen. And that sort of ingenuity was always interesting to me.
Yeah, I don't like math, and I'm not very good at it. So while that is interesting, I never would have known much about it known enough to appreciate that. But like I said, canoes. Every culture, everywhere, developed the canoe, but none of them ever met each other. Or stringed instruments. Most cultures develop stringed instruments without ever, you have early versions of the banjo from Africa to the little guitars they played in Japan to lyres and lutes.
Yeah.
And it's all humans just kind of going, hey, when I pluck this, it sounds nice.
Let's keep plucking things. Let's make them different tautnesses and lengths and keep plucking.
Yeah, which I always found to be really interesting. Which similar to musical instruments, 101 Terror Fiends, because this episode is apparently sponsored by Same, also asked, do any of you do something creative, arts or acting? Well, we do this. I can play the trumpet. Sean, I believe you used to act.
I have an extensive theater background. I've been either on stage or backstage for close to 30 shows. I can't sing a lick. The one line that I ever had to sing was from Anything Goes. And at the very finale, I had to sing, "You're the Louvre Museum." And that was it. That was all anybody ever let me sing. Even in the chorus, I was told to just lip sync because I can't sing. But I've been everything from The Father and Father of the Bride. I was the evil African magician. Yep.
Was blackface involved in that?
In a version of Aladdin. No, we just assumed I was the evil South African apartheid magician.
Ah.
I was Reverend Paris in the Crucible, so on, so on. I've done follow spots. I've done audio. I've done lighting. I've done set construction. I've done a little bit of film. I led an improv troupe for a while. I've done stand-up comedy. I technically, as far as other arts go, took lessons in the flute and the violin, but I always sucked. So, yeah, theater's pretty much the art I have. That's all I got.
Yeah, I played the trumpet. I did this. I've had some poems published.
I had one, too. I actually won a poetry contest in middle school. There was a Great Lakes Regional Poetry Contest, which was not for children. But I entered with... we had an assignment where we had to write a pantoum, which is you have stanzas of 4 lines. You take the first and third line of each stanza, and it becomes the second and fourth line of the next stanza. Or I might have that backwards, but either way. And they're supposed to be about nature and beauty and things like that. Well, I thought the assignment was stupid. So I wrote it about some guy who just didn't understand. And it was called Huh? And it was, huh? What did you say? I didn't understand. It was so on like that.
Yeah.
And it was just this rambling, incoherent, I'm sorry, I don't understand a word you're saying. And it was hailed by the local poetry review as being a subversion of the rigidly defined tropes of the genre and transcending the boundaries of art. And I'm just like, I just thought it was dumb that I had to write about plants.
But nah, I had some poems published. I was in a rap battle once. Yeah, but actually,
everybody else, begin.
Pretty much. Actually, our intern, her degree's in art. She has a degree in painting.
She pretties.
Which is kind of why she had to settle for being our intern. But yeah. So... there you go. Now, Vigil Seymour asked if we'd seen Oban Star Racers, and yes, I have.
I have not.
It's not bad. I mean, who the fuck rides a Beetle is my question. We've got all these spaceships, and some motherfucker shows up with a Beetle. I get a can of fucking Raid. Well, I guess you're not winning this race, asshole.
I was going to say, did you mean a Volkswagen or the Bug?
The Bug. He showed up with an actual big-ass blue Beetle that he just sits on with a saddle. And I'm going, I'd get a can of fucking Raid, and we'd be off and cracking.
Again, just to be clear, he's riding a blue Beetle. It's not Jaime Reyes, is it?
It is not.
Okay.
Nor is it Harry Dresden's car.
Okay, just checking.
It is a giant space insect.
I did, at one point in a game of Dungeons & Dragons, fight some goblin cavalry that were riding giant beetles. It's about the closest I ever got.
Say again, pop a bug grenade and he'd be fucked. But
we
Oban Star,
fireballed the fuck out of him. It was great.
Oban Star Race is not a bad anime. It's not fantastic. It's enjoyable.
Cool. Brandon Williams asks, if we were stuck back in medieval times, what would be our weapon of choice? Mine is very simple. I would like to have a very fine, well-soled, well-fitting pair of leather boots so that I could run the fuck away. Because that's probably my best option in that sort of situation.
I've actually put a lot of thought into this over the years. A lot of thought. And here's what I've come to. Let us say we have two people, person A and person B. Person A is wearing cotton shirt, cotton pants. Sean's as a matter of fact, it's Sean. And then we've got person B, who is head to toe in just steel plate. A tank of the day. Now, and I have for myself a very sharp sword, very sharp, razor blade, and I slide it across Sean. Well, he gets cut in half. Goodbye, Sean.
Oh.
I go after the armored guy with it. It does nothing. He laughs and then claps my head into a mush.
Make a metal scraping sound.
Right. That's about it. And then my sword's ruined. Now, a much wiser weapon, some sort of club. Just a big iron club with some ridges on it. I smack Sean with it. I shatter bones. Goodbye, Sean. I come after the big armored guy. I crush bones. You know, sharp is good sometimes. Heavy is always good.
Downside being it takes a lot of conditioning to swing around a heavy chunk of metal for what could be half an hour or more, depending on the size of the battle. I mean, a duel, yeah, if you've been practicing with it, your average fitness warrior can handle it, but even a hardened soldier who's used to a sword and is suddenly given a big-ass fucking Warhammer or Morningstar is going to be like, ah, shit.
Well, yeah, and that's why you'd only I would probably go with that and then just a dagger-type weapon. So that, oh, fuck, I'm tired. Here, come here. Stab you a bunch of times.
You should train Dragon Ball Z style, wearing armor made out of lead. There you go.
Yeah, so when it's really time to fight, it's hold on, excuse me. Pop, pop, pop. Thud.
No, you just switch to steel. You're still armored, but you're like, it's like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all.
You practice with a
Simpsons reference.
Practice with a weapon that's 3
Stupid,
times
sexy
as heavy
Flanders.
as your real weapon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But no, that's my thought on it. Sharp's sometimes good, but heavy is always good.
Reasonable thinking. But yeah, I'm sticking with running away because there were a lot of very, very deadly people in medieval times. So I'm going to try to run away and try to survive till I can get to the court of some nobleman who will listen to the wonders I can tell him from the future without thinking I'm some sort of witch.
And you know what the problem with that is? Because I had this debate with my dad one time. Because he said, son, what could you actually show them? It's like, you could tell them about a television. They'd think you're insane. I'm like, well, I know the recipe for gunpowder. But I think what I would really do is the little things like paper clips. They had papers back then. And they bound them together with string. I would show up with a paper clip and go, boom, revolutionary.
Going back to GURPS again, there's a sidebar in one of the books about time travel, because GURPS covers everything, pretty much literally. It has a sidebar of if you get sent back in time, these are the things that would revolutionize the world and are easy for you to be able to remember and describe. And one of the things specifically called out is a paperclip. It says, think about it right now. Can you draw one from memory? Exactly what it looks like?
Yeah.
And if you can, all you need is a blacksmith who can make some reasonably ductile wire, and you're good to go. You can do it out of copper. You can do it out of aluminum, which they aren't going to have much aluminum because they didn't have the tech to process bauxite into aluminum. They had to find native aluminum, which was rare as shit. Steel could do it. But
yeah.
Most steel was not pulled out into wire. You could. Copper would probably be your best bet. Or if you found a guy who made chainmail, ask him to make some narrower wire. You'd think you're crazy, but he'd do it.
Yeah, but things like the paperclip, gunpowder.
You go back far enough, the concept of reading without whispering.
Yes, there's an actual Catholic saint who that's his deal. He could read Latin without moving his mouth. But yeah, there's a few little pocket inventions that I'm like, yeah, these are the things that I could do that would pull it off. Some of them would just be things like the concept of ergonomics.
Yeah.
Hey guys, listen. If you'll lift your feet a little bit, and if you get to the back of your chair just right, you can sit a lot more comfortably.
There you go. Retroman 000 was trying to pick a fight by asking us best pony.
Rarity's best pony.
Rainbow Dash's best pony.
Fuck you, Rarity's best pony.
Rainbow Dash is faster.
So
what does Rarity have?
Rarity has beautiful, beautiful dresses.
So fashion sense.
Yes. Also, in any other setting ever, Rarity would be the villain. Because she's wealthy, she's fashion forward, she's stylish. She would be a villain. She'd be like Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara.
Yeah.
But she's not. She's the living soul of generosity.
That's true. But
And in a world where currency exists and greed is a thing, Applejack, she gives away jewel-encrusted clothing. Just here.
Rainbow Dash has colorful explosions.
Jewels for days.
Dragons can do that.
No, dragons can eat them. But I'm sorry, I can't
Do you
hear
not-
you over the sound of all the rubies I'd be wearing.
All the rubies you'd be wearing. You want to be all festive and colorful?
Damn right.
Uh-huh. I'm still going with Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash can fly. Rarity has a unicorn horn, and her magic is limited to fucking stitching.
Well, finding gems.
Okay? Twilight can do all that. Pre-Alicord.
So let's take that to its logical conclusion. Rarity finds mountains of gems.
Yes?
Hire mercenary dragon army.
Okay.
Eat Rainbow Dash.
Doesn't matter. Rainbow Dash is still best pony, because Rainbow Dash is very, very fast and has colorful explosions.
Rarity is best pony.
But doesn't have any colorful explosions.
Rarity can burst into flames.
How many lives has Rarity saved? Because I recall Rainbow Dash saving Rarity's life when she got a little too, shall we say, Icarian. Got her wings a little too close to the sun, metaphorically speaking, and
they were
started plummeting to her death. Who saved her?
She wouldn't have died.
Would you tell me who saved her? Tell me what pony swept in and saved her from a untimely demise upon a rapid impact and sudden stop at equestrian soil. I believe that would be Rainbow Dash.
Rarity can burst into flames, so
Rainbow Dash is on my wallet. Rarity is not.
well, no, Rarity's not on your wallet.
Is Rarity on your wallet?
Rarity's not on my wallet.
So of the wallets in our sample size, only Rainbow Dash has a wallet.
I would call it a rather tacky wallet. And Rarity would call it a tacky wallet. That's the thing. Rarity's not on cheap trinkets. Rarity is high fashion.
Mm-hmm. But see, Rainbow Dash doesn't care. Rainbow Dash doesn't give a fuck. Rainbow Dash is going to go take a nap on a cloud. Has Rarity ever taken a nap on a cloud?
Why would she want to? She has a lovely bed.
Because napping on a cloud
Because she
is
has a
cool as
home.
shit.
Rainbow Dash is a homeless bum.
Dashy has a home.
She has no home.
She most certainly does.
Yes, a cloud.
Cloud's a pretty
That's
damn
not a
nice
home.
It's a fine home.
It's not a home.
She's not scared of heights like a certain other Pegasus I could name. Incidentally, you guys, if you look between us this whole time, can see a very adorable napping cat. And I'm going to point out the cat because cats get you views on the internet.
It's true.
So there you go, Retro Man. You picked the fight. Bastard.
Fuck you. Rarity's best pony.
Coming up on the end here, I think I'd like to share something that happened last night. It was a little peculiar, and Rob, I want to get your opinion as to whether or not this was weird or if it was just a little odd.
Okay.
We went to the Chinese buffet.
All right.
Okay. And walk up, said we have a group of 6 people. They asked if we wanted to use 2 booths. Said no, we'll wait for a table. There's no rush. Said okay. And we were standing around talking, waiting. When out of nowhere, I'm standing there, hands in my pockets. Waitress comes up, grabs me by the elbow, and yanks me. I'm like, what? And she just grabs me and leads me over to the table and basically pushes me into a chair. This was her way of leading us to our table, which normally I'm fine with being led someplace by attractive Asian women, or attractive women in general, but Asian women especially because, well, they're smaller, so if they're leading me to death, I might have a better chance of escaping. So I'm generally willing to take the risk and go with it. But this just struck me as a very bizarre way for a waitress to seat someone. Am I mistaken?
Now, did she say anything, or was it just this
Not a
dead
thing.
silent clamp?
Not a thing. Not a thing until we were all there and she said, what you want to drink?
That is very odd.
And I was like, mellow yellow? And she nodded as if that was acceptable. Not okay, but...
I think what you got is a young woman that did her turn in the Chinese army, and that's just how she is.
We've got a couple of Chinese fans, or at least, from China, and I know a couple of you are like at Queen's College or whatever. Is that a cultural thing in China? Are you guys just more likely to grab someone and lead them someplace? Or would this be weird to you guys too? Please let me know. I would very much appreciate knowing if I was accosted unfairly by a otherwise very lovely and polite and competent Chinese waitress. I presume she's Chinese. It's a Chinese restaurant, but I have no reason to assume she was actually Chinese. She could have been Korean. We have a large Korean population here.
Could have been, yes.
But I think Chinese because it sounded like she was speaking Mandarin. But then again, you can learn Mandarin and be Korean. So I don't know.
Well,
Other than that, we've got one more story. I think we were planning on sharing today.
Yeah.
So tell us, Rob.
This kind of came up from the from Instagram, and from Snapchat. I'm sorry, but somebody asked the first time I ever drank, and purposefully, I'd never tasted alcohol until college. And I say purposefully because when I was a kid, very young, like 6, my dad and I were helping our neighbor build some fence because he's like 105, still alive today. But so we had finished, and he walks up and hands us each these jars of clear liquid, and then he's just talking to my dad. And my dad doesn't think, and I notice he hands one to each of us, my father and the 6-year-old boy, not just both to my dad. And my dad doesn't think anything of it. He thinks I probably can't even get the jar open. But young Robb is very thirsty and now has a cold jar of clear liquid, which he presumes to be refreshing water. So I spin the top off this jar and pop it, and my dad looks back right as he hears the fwing of the top coming off the jar as I just take it, dump it, literally just dump it, of what was not, in fact, the finest quality moonshine. 100% 200 proof alcohol, up my nose, in my ears, in my eyes, swallowed enough to kill full-grown men, and I hit the ground. It did not take but a second, and I was just flat. And, I didn't know what had even hit me. I woke up a few hours later with what I now know to be the most rockin' of hangovers. And my dad comes in and checks on me, and, how you feeling, boy? And I say, my head hurts really bad. And he goes, well, we've learned a hard lesson about sipping, haven't we? It's like, yes, Daddy, we have. And then I just curled back and hoped for a death that wouldn't come. But yeah, and it wasn't until I still never knew what was in that jar for a very long time.
Yeah.
I thought I went to drink water and someone hit me with a hammer. And my father just simply wasn't speaking on the murder that took place post-hammering. But yeah, I just cannot understand this guy's thinking of one for each of you. Well, gee, thanks. Let me have my mommy put it in my bottle, or my sippy.
Well, I believe in certain cultures, that's a good way to get them started young.
Well, that was the thing. It was not because of that I never drank. It was because I lived in terror of my mother's wrath. Like, if my mom ever found out that I drank underage, the beating would be profound and using a frying pan.
So, the whole never drank till college, you're leaving a firm implication that was senior year, just in case your mom ever sees this.
Yeah, we'll say that. But, and it was my aunt who was funneling booze to me by the handle. She'd show up, go, here, have one of these. Okay. My senior, freshman, year of college, I had a shelf in my dorm closet. I had a better liquor selection than most bars in town. I had something like 9 gallons.
Wow.
Just spread across the spectrum. I had shit you can't buy in America. I had bison grass vodka that was smuggled in from Poland because there's a food additive in bison grass the FDA made illegal.
Comparatively, I never touched alcohol at all till 25, so there you go. I guess Robb, willingly or not, got his start at a very young age.
Yeah.
But we'll leave you guys on that note. Thanks again for watching. We really appreciate it. Please dislike, comment, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, the Snapchats, the Instagrams, what else am I missing?
I think that's pretty much it. Google Plus, and again,
Google Plus.
Questions. Yeah. What makes this podcast possible is you guys asking us things.
Because we're not that creative. We spend all of our energy trying to do the intros, and
Yeah.
Podcast comes around and we're like, oh, God, I hope someone asks us something interesting.
Yeah. So give us your best shot. And other than that, hope you all had a good, safe Tindependence Day.
And for those of our European viewers,
America.
we won, bitch!
Yeah, what up?
This is the one time a year I get jingoistic. Deal with it.
Yep.
Bye, guys.
Bye.